Red League Podcast. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell your haters. Available on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Good Pocket Cast, Breaker, and Stitcher. At Rec League Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. At Rec League Pod on Twitter. Episode 107 coming soon. Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram or YouTube itself. What up, world? So, I just watched Magic Mike's Last Dance. It's obviously the third installment in the Magic Mike franchise. It stars Channing Tatum, Selma Hayek. It's directed by Steven Soderbergh. He directed the first Magic Mike. He directed Out of Sight, Traffic, Aaron Brockovich, the Ocean's Trilogy, The Informant, Unsane. He's got a lot of good stuff. You got this kind of like twisting some real world events into this, because something that's affected the entire world over the past 3 years has affected Mike. If you have seen the first two movies, you know that he wasn't like trying to be like a lifelong male stripper or whatever. He was trying to like do his own thing. His business was affected. He runs into Selma Hayek. She's wealthy. She wants him to organize a stage show. I obviously am not the target demographic for these movies, but Selma Hayek is Selma Hayek, so I wanted to see what this movie was going to be with Selma Hayek in it. So I watched the first two. The first two are fun. And this movie takes an element out that the first two had. So like, I enjoyed the story, but it's not as fun as the first two. But if I'm not mistaken, there is like a reality show or a stage show, something in real life that is very similar to this. So it was kind of meta in that way of like life imitating art, imitating life, imitating art, or something like that. Channing Tatum is good as his character. Selma Hayek is like Selma Hayek, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's dope in everything. Like, she gives a good performance in everything she's in. So yeah, like, I liked them together. Like I said, I liked this story. I liked that Steven Soderbergh came back to finish off the trilogy. There was a silly callback to the first movie. But it's a trilogy. But this is a trilogy that you can kind of watch each movie on its own, and it feels like its own self-contained thing. There are references to the first two movies in this, but not so much to the point that it's like, oh, I don't get it. Because it's like, the first movie happens, and it just shows you how wild that lifestyle is. The second movie happens, and they just be like, oh, these characters just, this is what they're doing. That's why they're not in this movie. And it just presses on. This movie is so far removed from the first two that you don't really need to see them. But it helps. Well, I like the first two a little more. I would say this is still a good movie. This is still a solid trilogy. And with all that being said, I will say that in my opinion, Magic Mike's Last Dance is almost dope. Have you seen Magic Mike's Last Dance, man? What you think about it? Positive, negative, somewhere in between? Let me know. My most recent reviews are for Legion of Superheroes, Knock at the Cabin. Right around the corner, I got an Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania review, Cocaine Bear next weekend, Creed 3 the week after that. March. Probably my most anticipated month of the year. Most recent podcast, we spoiler talked Knock at the Cabin. Next episode, we're going to spoiler talk Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Be on the lookout for all of it, man. Like, subscribe, comment. Find me where you find me, man. Don't know where to find me. Watch these credits. Peace.